Alright guys, welcome back. Episode number 212. Today, we built this bridge. Well, not just finished it, well, we started and finished it today. And now, we are bordering on Route 85, which is one of the farthest east vertical routes in the entire system I have planned. So of course, this is where Route 20 ends, right here. Obviously, there's nowhere to go right here. These areas in the southeast and the far northeast parts of the route system will be a little bit volatile. Now, this is of course where my causeway will be if anybody pays attention. Actually, this is great that we are building with the power grid, because we can connect our power grid right here and we can open this crate. Funny how all I'm missing is cable. How the hell am I missing only cables? I would say I can make some wire, but I don't have any wire. So okay, so the route in physical construction is kind of done for the most part. We need to go get some signs. Start building signs and all that fun shit. And barriers, because look at this. If you fall off this barrier, hello viewer. If you fall off this barrier, you're not stopping. Yeah, that's void. If you fall down there, you die. No ifs, ands, or buts or exceptions. You die if you fall down there. So we need to establish barriers along the roadway. Looks like we have a limited amount of plates. So this takes a while, but safety first, right? Now, I did test barriers this high. You have to be an idiot and purposely going above speed to basically go over these. So if you just accidentally bump into it, it should bump you right back onto the road. Yeah, this is gonna take a while, the whole barrier thing. Again, I don't think I have to say this, Jeff, but I think this game is really good. I feel like in 2026, in like the modern day of gaming, it's hard to find a video game that has a developer base that isn't just corrupt, greedy, or just, you know, completely like brain dead. Yeah, I know I'm gonna glaze here, but honestly, I like Coffee Stain Studios. I want to also say enjoy them while they last, but they seem to be pretty. Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. Imagine some flying stranger comes down with a chainsaw and just hits you. Like, are you trying to coerce me into let me trust you, and then that way you can kill me, or like, what are you doing? But like, you know, you get the point. I guess it won't hurt to. Again, I keep getting comments of people saying, oh, why not just use trains? Trains will be used. In fact, I'll probably build a whole ass train network. But I really like roads because, honestly, if I'm going to build train network, I know it sounds weird and it might sound time consuming, but it lets me get to the construction sites where the train's going to be. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I can drive to the areas, but it's just easier if I have a road to do it. Plus, honestly, if I have to be completely honest with you guys, I like the look of my roads. My roads look so nice, in my opinion. Although, if anybody hears this, don't be jealous of my roads. I learned how to build them from another person. I need to go back and do the signs and the barriers at the same time, that way I don't have to go back. Actually, I might just keep doing this, and then when I go back, I might do the signs. Because, if you really think about it, I might be running out of plates, which I have obviously a lot more plates. I just don't have them where they're... Actually, wait. I think I do have them going into my, what? Looks like I don't have them syncing. Interesting. I thought I did. But we have a ton of plates. We have tens of thousands of them, and we can make hundreds a minute. Even if at my current rate, it's impossible for me to exceed the rate of which the consumption rate. It's hard. Oops. I hate when this happens. Now, right here is the best way to make I know I used fences for the other barriers, so I'm gonna use the high barrier for this one. This one might be the more curvy of all it's definitely way more curvier than Route 5, which was, of course, originally named Route 1. So, when I actually originally built the system, I was going to go for 9 routes, but this 9 routes has been increased to 19 routes. Man, I'm trying to think about if I ever did another playthrough. I think it's gonna be like this. Like if I do another playthrough, I don't know if it's gonna be as good as this because I like to focus my time on the one playthrough. Unless this playthrough gets extremely advanced, but there's almost nothing to do, then I'll start another one. Won't delete this one. Another one of these impure coal lanes. Not that bad. The most you can get out of these is 300 if you have overclocked Mark III. Oh, damn it. I could have kept that tree. That's what they need to do, is plant more trees. Like this, it kind of gets... As weird as it sounds, I don't like cutting down tons of trees. Only do it because I have to, really. Have to. I mentioned because, you know, if I'm going to build this, then I have to kind of remove them. Ugh. Good grief. Yeah, these signs are annoying, but they definitely give it... They give this highway a bit more professionality. Shit! Booba! And again, these power lines on that you can see, they are temporary. Here's the thing, as long as we can copy paste, keep in the range of the signs, we're good. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Definitely a good idea to put this sign up right here. It's not impassable, but it's good to know that there's bad clearance right there. Again, so if we actually go over here with the truck, I like to use the truck because the truck is the biggest. Now, right here, it looks like it overlap, but if we take a truck and we try to criminal biofuel in it, it will go under. Yeah, but still good to have that low clearance mark. Obviously, yeah, so we use this vehicle for the speed, and we use the truck for the size. So, if the truck can't fit under it, it definitely is a little bit concerning. We need to have, I want to have all roads able to handle the speed of an Explorer and the size of a truck. Obviously, these lanes are huge. Like, for example, like a road would probably be like this thick as this platform in real life. Let's see, 24 feet. $10 to 12 feet wide, right? That's about 3 to 4 meters. So a standard road in the United States would be this big. Be that wide. Is there a traffic lane? Narrow lanes range from 9 to 11 feet. So a 2-lane highway will range at an minimum of 18 feet. Which I usually like to, roughly, you can get the amount of meters if you divide by 3, although if you start going above 100 meters, or 100 feet off, and plus, is when you start to run into, like, that issue. Like, 100 feet may not be 33 meters, it may, like, be, like, 35, 36. Oh, 100 feet is 30 meters. Interesting. See, like, you can get a mildly, like, kind of like FU answer if you go below 100 feet. But once you start going beyond that, is when you start getting inaccuracies. So 18 feet would be 5 meters. So a typical road in the United States, a highway, would be about this big. It doesn't look like this, but this is 13 feet right here. But yeah, when you get out of your view, you can easily imagine, like, if your car is about 2 people big, you can definitely see how it would fit on here. But obviously, like, let's say, even if you did, like, 1 road length, 1 road width, getting a vehicle in this game, like, even slowly to kind of fit on that, you have to go, like, this slow, and that's annoying. You don't want to go slow, you want to go fast. Highways are for fast, not for slow. Which means that people need to stop going like 60 or 50 miles on an interstate. Especially on the freaking majors. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use the restroom. Yeah. Be back. Okay. Oh, hello, viewers. Apologies for the absence. So, let's oh, 4 viewers. Hello, people. Alright. So, we just got this route done. It ends right over here. This road does that I'm on. And we're putting barriers and signs, and after that, it's essentially all done. But I'm very glad that we have a very great horizontal. By the way, we went way above and beyond. We were supposed to end this route right here, but instead, we looped it over here. It went all the way around over here, up through this right here, over here, and finally a big bridge over there. Hopefully, yeah, there it is. Obviously, you can see that there is a bridge over there, which... Oh, man, I love that. I love the corners with the red beams on top of the small pillars. I'm pretty good for an architect, considering I literally just come up with this stuff on the fly. So again, as I said before, our order of business right now is to build the signs and barriers. This will take probably about an hour or two at most, but I believe we can lock in. We definitely need barriers on this road, because if you fall off over here, it's not a big deal. You fall into the ocean. Yeah, you drown your car, but you can get up and like shake it off and whatever. But the problem is, there's no coming back from the void when you fall down. I could build a road over here, although there's nothing way too much. Actually, what am I saying? There's actually a couple pure and sulfur and pure coal nodes over there. There's not as much oil over here as there is over there. Actually, let me see if I can check geysers. There might be oil over there. More oil over here than over there. I know, I think over at the site where I've been building, and I built for like almost 2 months, I think there's 2,700 oil, counting the resource well. Now the resource wells we can't build. Honestly, I feel like after we complete the game, the best thing you can do is either kind of world build and like continue to obviously harvest every single resource in the game. Hello, other viewers. Ooh, hey, 4 viewers. Hmm? I heard a Mercer sphere. Yay. Anybody else want to attack me today, huh? Oh, hey, I don't know why I forgot that this game uses a engine to calculate how much stuff's around you and produces a reverb. By Asberg Lights, they've done at least 500 meters, and we have 3,000 to go. Which is not been bad. We just gotta keep going. The best way you can kill these is shoot them after they land. Dodge them and shoot them as they land. Alright, after they land, you got like 1.5, 2 seconds to land as many bullets as you can. Lightning? Lightning detected? What? Wait, what the hell? Ooh, there's a cell. Ow! God damn it! Who the hell? Bastard! Ooh, we got a strong cell moving in here, chat. Any rotation? Nah. Strong cell moving. Damn it! Anyone else up here wanna trust me? No? So be it then. We got a pretty decent cell over in Peoria right now. And another one in Clinton. Ooh, that's some good, not rotation, but that's some good, hail. No rotation today. Oh my god, today would be a perfect day to go out and go tornado chasing. I have literally nothing to do. Besides my midterm. And it's for meteorology, but looks like today's gonna be a quiet day. At least no one's gonna get hurt. Not that I know of. Oh, well, I'd have to get my oil changed, obviously, but whatever. Let's see. Well, we are in a thunderstorm risk. No severe weather expected today. Although there is a green zone over parts of Missouri and Oklahoma. And if anybody is like, oh my gosh, like, if anybody on my stream is like, oh my gosh, I hope you're okay. By the way, this is Illinois. We ranked like #1 for the most tornadoes of any state in the entire U.S. in 2023. And I think last year in 2025 we ranked #2. That's right. In a single year, we got more tornadoes than Texas did. Texas usually gets the most, followed by states like Oklahoma. Hopefully my autosave will help me here. The only problem with playing during thunderstorms is that it increases the chance of a corruption. I never play Minecraft that much during thunderstorms, because if the power goes out during a save, it will corrupt the file. That's why I've gotten used to backups. I will say the barriers, when you build them like this, it snaps almost perfectly. Of course, if you look closely, there's a little bit sticking out, but that's acceptable. I wanted to run some... I could have ran a causeway through here, but I'm probably going to build a couple facilities down here. This place will actually be home to a petrochemical facility that produces tons of plastic and rubber. I'm going to start by... I think I'll start by converting every single ounce of oil. Up there's... You see that train over there? It's getting fuel to go bring back to my power plant. How is the power out? Oh, I see a power line out down there. It was a little bit stable a couple of days ago, but it's producing, if you minus like 4,800, or I think the plant's running at like 95%-ish efficiency, which if that is so, it's okay. I mean, look how far that line is. If we literally tripled our power output right now, we would not exceed the amount that our plant's producing. Obviously, if the plant entirely goes down, then that is an issue. But it's running optimally. Yeah, I definitely want to keep my eye on this cell that's going. Oh wow, yeah, that cell's gonna smack right into me. I have a cell that I'm tracking on radar. It's gonna smack right into my ass. I Man, I remember the day when the Washington EF4 struck. If you guys don't know, in my area we have one of the most infamous tornadoes was the Washington EF4. Luckily, although yes, that's too many people that died, 3 people were killed, which is surprisingly very low. I was watching a June 1st video or whatever on it, and one thing that he said is that it could have been because we in the Midwest, we have basements, and that's very true. In our area where I live, like in Illinois, we have basements. Not just because, you know, we have a shelter. We want shelter from tornadoes, but mainly for utility because, of course, we got store something. But apparently in places like Oklahoma, their ground is much harder. If I'm not wrong. I'll validate myself. But the ground in Oklahoma, I've heard, is much harder, which means that I think more residents, or less residents in Oklahoma and stuff like that, have basements. Let's see, Oklahoma residents have fewer basements primarily due to expansive red clay, a high water table, and a shallow frost line rather than just harder ground. The clay shrinks and swells with moisture, causing cracking and leaky walls. So that, I think, right there is what actually led to the Moore and Bridge Creek tornadoes having such high death rates. I mean, in Washington, Illinois, man, you can almost still see the effects of that tornado, and it struck more than 10 years ago. But here's what's incredible about that tornado. It struck in November. November. Now, if you guys don't know, everybody, okay, what's so special about that? Tornado season is essentially like mid-April to early June. Tornadoes can and will occur outside of these parameters, but the chances of it happening are slim to none. The fact that a tornado occurred in November, and not just like a little tiny wimpy tornado, but like an actual EF4 killer tornado occurred in November is nuts. But this realization was shattered when in 2021, I remember the day, I remember that very vividly, the December 10th to a December 11th tornado outbreak. Remember that in St. Louis or East St. Louis, around that area, about the Amazon warehouse collapsing? Mayfield was the same day, wasn't it? And of course, Rolling Fork was another bad one. Man, in the early 2020s, tornado seasons have been interesting. It's nuts how, essentially, on average, on a day-to-day average, tornadoes occurred in Illinois once every 3 to 4 days. But I never saw one. I'm trying to see one. Here's what I want. And you know what? Maybe I'm going to be picky, but this is a dream tornado. I want a nice, well-lit, low precipitation EF0 that just wanders around a field, hurts absolutely nobody, and then just goes back up in the cloud. Luckily for me, EF0s make up roughly, like, there are 60,000-ish confirmed tornadoes, 60,000 plus confirmed tornadoes, and at least like 60 to 68,000-ish tornadoes we've actually confirmed in the United States. And of those 68,000, more than 23,000, or just roughly about a third, are EF or F0. In fact, literally only like 3% of them go to EF3 or above. 3 to 7%, what I've calculated. It is rare for them to become deadly. Honestly, it's kind of interesting. Like, I have a new perspective. People fear tornadoes so much, but honestly, I'm more scared of heart disease. Heart disease kills way more people than tornadoes, or car crashes, or sickness. That kills a lot more people than a tornado will. Honestly, I remember when I was a little kid, I used to be petrified shitless of them. I mean, can you imagine this? I mean, you can't blame me as a kid. Yeah, imagine that. You know, you're living in this world, and all of a sudden, you can see a storm pop out a big-ass funnel, and that funnel, wherever it goes, death and destruction just follows. I mean, can you blame me for being scared? Now, I'm mesmerized by them. I have attempted to go see them. The closest I ever got was 10 miles of an active tornado. I didn't pursue because it was near Rockford, I think. And Rockford is heavily populated, and... Oh my god. I'm just gonna say, if anybody has to chase tornadoes, don't chase them in the areas with people, and especially don't drive in Rockford. I'm sorry for any resident of Rockford, Illinois that listens to this, but the people that drive there are ass at driving. I mean, I've told this on my stream so many times. I've almost gotten hit in Rockford twice in 2 hours. People don't know when to go at a stoplight. Like, in 2 hours, I've had 2 near collisions, 3 people blocking, 3 people, including 2 semis, blocking the intersection and, like, sitting in the middle of it during a green light. 1 person that ran a red light on a busy intersection next to a cop who did nothing. That kind of explains to me that if a cop sees a guy blow a red light and does absolutely nothing, that guy's probably... The cop's probably like, average Rockford day. I had a guy, I was going like this, I had a guy turn and almost collide with me. It was a fellow Subaru. I'm like, come on, dude, we're on the same team here. But I know this because the reason I went to Rockford is I went to go grab some pennies because I was taking a trip up north to do something. I think I was doing a trip up north for my dad because he wanted these like toys for his museum, like these like dinosaur toys. So at a side, I decided to go get them. He said he'd pay me and I'd get to go on a little road trip. Well, guess what? I'm like, you know what? I'm all the way up, and it was like, of course, I took the I-39 corridor, so I decided to go to, it starts, not LaSalle. Not only, I think it starts in the O. I know exactly where it is on the map. I'm gonna go look at it. What town was that? I went to it. Ottawa! Yup, Ottawa. Which, the cool thing about Ottawa, Illinois, it was one of 3 locations in the United States where American Radium manufactured its radium. So if anybody has ever seen the Radium Girls, they were in Illinois. They were also, I think, in New York and New Jersey. But there was a factory for radium watches in Illinois, which is actually interesting because I've been to a lot of... Oh shit, that's a thunderstorm. So guys, if I go out and it's not a bad thunderstorm, but if I get knocked out here, just know that is because... Oh shit, that's not... If I go out, that's because my internet got knocked out or my power got knocked out. Damn. A relatively powerful cell. Wait, let's see, like, perhaps if I see some CTG. I don't see any CTG, it must be CTC. If you don't know what that means, CTC means cloud to ground lightning, and CTC means cloud to cloud. Most lightning observed is usually cloud to cloud. But, Ottawa, I went to Ottawa because that's where it was. I think, what was it? I think I was in, like, LaSalle or up in the area. So I went to Ottawa to go pick up... Or no, it was, I think it was actually Oglesby or whatever it was. It was around the Ottawa area of Illinois, where I actually, went to go pick up these toys. And I decided to go to the area where the radium factory was, Now, the radium factory, I think, has been completely erased, and it's cleaned up. I went around there with a Geiger counter, and very minimal signs, almost undiscernible from background. So, if anybody wonders anything about the radium factory, at least the one in Illinois, the cleanup is successful, and the radium, at least on the outside, is almost completely undetectable. Like it is gone. I think the radium factory when they built, I think it was eventually demolished, but it got turned into what's called Superfund site. Now, if you guys don't know, or if you're not from America, a Superfund site is a government issued facility where, like, for example, some company, if they pollute the area, then they will turn it into what's called a Superfund site, and they'll close it off to the public and clean it up. Like nuclear issues, chemical spills, you name it. Like, I think the first was Love Canal. I'm gonna go check this out. Usually when I live east of the Illinois River, and one thing I've noticed in the Illinois River is that any storm that like passes over it it essentially gets strengthened, apparently. What's our cape? Our cape's very low. Looks like we have a couple cells forming to our southwest. Southwest. And it shows it, I think I show hail. 30 mile an hour, hail, half inch. But I actually posted a video of the supercell I was following. It was getting dark, and the cell was so far away, and then there was so much high precipitation, so I didn't go further. Like, I acknowledge from 0 meaning I know nothing about storm chasing to a 10 meaning I'm like Tim Samaras level. I think that's gotta pass away. F in chat though. I rate myself roughly like a 7. I know what I'm doing, or rather like a 5.5 to a 6. I know some decent terminology, like occlusions, precipitation, and all that stuff. I'm not an idiot where like, oh look, a cloud, I'm gonna go next to it. Honestly, my strategy for trying to observe a tornado is to stay far away from it. And the one in the cell I posted a video of. There's my base's quartz mine. But if there's a thing called high precipitation storm base. Now the issue with those is that if a misconception with tornadoes is that rain will destroy them, and that's absolutely demonstrably false. In fact, it's actually the opposite. A tornado can rain can hide tornadoes within seconds. Like, you can look at a tornado, it's right there, you see it, and then I've seen clips where in like 30 seconds, tornado is gone. Like, it's there, it's still doing its thing, but it's not seeable. And this creates an extremely hazardous situation, and the tornado becomes what's called rain-wrapped, which it'll appear as a giant cloud of rain, but in reality, it's just a tornado, and it's just been wrapped in rain, where you won't be able to see it. And by the time you do drive into one and you realize that you've messed up, it's usually going to be too late. My mic is really sensitive, like Twitter users, so the mic should pick up on the thunder you guys can hear. I'll say making a barrier for this. Making a barrier for this will probably be a pain in the ass, but honestly, it's flat. Luckily, I'm getting clipped by the northern edge of this bit, so, yeah. A larger cell to my southeast. Oh, hey, hopefully this... Oh, I hope this thing brings rain. I think I could see it. We're getting some rain right now. We need rain. Illinois is under... Like, my area of Illinois, oh my gosh, we have not been getting rain. I swear, ever since the past, I want to say about 5 to 7 years, we have gotten shitty rain. We have gotten barely any rain, it feels like. In fact, I'm pretty sure Illinois right now, like in the central part, we're under a drought. Which is kind of stupid considering Illinois has a copious amount of water, considering we have not only the Mississippi, but the Illinois River and Lake Michigan. Like, Illinois is naturally just abundant in water. Another thing we're abundant in is somewhat solar and wind. Honestly, here's the thing. Here's what I think they should do. Take solar and put it in the southern states. For example, wind is really good as an energy source up in places like Illinois, where I live, and you got Iowa, like Iowa, Indiana, like western Indiana. If you take a line and you stretch it from like Minnesota down to Texas and the Gulf Coast, that is your best area to put wind turbines. But here's the problem. Solar is a little bit of an interesting occasion. Now, I don't want to say solar is bad. Just like wind, solar is intermittent and dependent on a fuel source. Now, that's the con. But the pro about both wind and solar is that its fuel source is renewable and refreshes itself. To refresh coal, coal forms in 100 million years. I think at the minimum, like a million years? Remember, just realize, if you are if you're a Christian, then in your belief, Christ was born 2,000 years ago. Now, take this number and multiply it by 500 times. And you still wouldn't, any biological matter buried today would still not have formed into coal. Human history has existed for no more than what, like modern, like imagine that we just got coal 150, 200 years ago. Even if we did quote unquote like plant coal or plant biological matter to, you know, convert into coal, quote unquote grow coal, the amount of which we consume definitely, like we'd have to have multiple planets to do this shit on. By the time you got to being able to go to multiple planets, I think you wouldn't really be using coal. You'd be using things like fusion. But honestly, here's the thing. Wind is great in the Midwestern states, but wind in the Gulf states is not really that good. If you go to the United States wind turbine database, wind is almost completely absent from the South. Like, I think Mississippi has one wind farm. Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, they have no wind farms. Because wind is shit there. Why is wind shitty over there? Well, because of one reason. there are a shit ton of trees, and there's so many obstructions in the Gulf states. But out in where I live in the Midwest, we have literally almost no trees. We have barely any trees. Well, we have forests, of course, but like you can go in many parts of the north of the Midwest. Oh, look, the storm's turning away from me. That's nice. I think we're getting rain. But the problem of so I'll explain to you one of the biggest I'm sorry if I jump everywhere, right? So, if you guys don't know, I consider myself a specialty person in wind. Now, I'm a bit mildly biased towards wind. I address its issues, right? Of course, you got maintenance, you got disposal of blades, intermittency, that's an issue. Now, here's the thing, right? For the people that criticize turbines, every power system has its weaknesses. For wind, it's maintenance. Actually, I want to scratch out maintenance because every power source needs maintenance. Solar, you gotta clean off the panels. Nuclear, you gotta refuel the system. Keep those pipes working. Coal, you have to refill the boiler. I know it's automated, but you have to keep running fuel to it. Every single thing that needs maintenance. But anyway, wind's weakness is that, of course, it's intermittent, and the blade disposal is an issue. Solar, the issue is, well, it is also intermittency and inconsistency throughout the year. Now, wind is somewhat inconsistent throughout the year, with the higher months being within January, February, in the winter months, and the lower months being in their summer months. Even though wind turbines don't generate a lot in summer, it's not like, oh, or it's like 2%. Now, here's where solar gets bad, right? Like, wind, like, for example, wind can be high in almost any parts of the year. We're not talking about water, though. Well, hydro's pretty good. Hydro's probably the best source of energy, in my opinion. But it is environmentally destructive. Now, for example, my defense upon wind when it comes to solar is that, of course, when the sun goes down, you're not generating power. And that's a big issue with solar. I wonder if solar has a higher capacity factor or lower capacity factor than wind. Now, if you don't know, capacity factor is the percentage of time of that power source is operating at full power. For wind, it's roughly 45%. For coal, it's 47%. Nuclear, 93 to 96%. That, again, the percentage of time of which a power source is operating at its full power. So, fun fact, coal generators don't even generate power 100% of the time. 100% of the time, power generation is impossible. Even if you, let's take the best coal plant you have in the world, right? The absolute best. Operates almost all the time. It's not possible. You have to shut it down to fix it. Shit breaks. That's just the rule of maintenance, and that's the rule of machinery in the world. Things are gonna break, whether you like it or not, and you gotta fix them. Turbines will break. Coal turbines will break. Nuclear reactors will break. Everything breaks. Everything needs some things need refueled and cared to. Everything needs human care. But anyway, here's the biggest issue with solar, in my opinion. I actually bought a solar panel, and it's not as simple as, okay, we leave a panel out and then we call it a done day. Here's the thing, right? So, if you want to know what the big problem about solar is, I know people are going to say, oh, it's a scam, but government subsidies scam. No, government subsidies are not a scam. I'm actually pretty sure they subsidize coal to keep the prices down and compete with wind, but I digress. But here's the problem about solar. Now, take your flashlight, or a flashlight. Now, find the desk and shine it down on it. Now, tilt your flashlight to the side, and you're going to notice that your light will get dimmer. So, here's the problem. Right? I know we're playing Satisfactory, but I just like to talk about stuff like this. I need to get this, give me a second. I need to get this, is that good? Okay, yeah. So the problem is, well, when the, so if you have your sun, now, if you got your panel right here, right, the sun ray is going like that. It's hitting, oh God, you can barely even see that. Right, you see that? So the sun hits directly, but the problem is that you're getting the same amount of sun. If your sun's right here, it's got to spread. If your sun is at the angle, it will produce the same amount of sunlight, but the problem here is that that area is way bigger. For example, let's say, let's get me an example, right? Let's say I have 5 marbles, and I have a table, and that table is 5 square feet, right? So a marble can be placed every single square foot. Now, let's say we have a table that is 10 square feet. Now, a marble can't, now it goes from being a marble per square foot to a marble per 2 square feet. So that's an average of 0.5 marbles per square feet. So when the sun is at an angle, you're getting the same amount of sunlight and the same amount of heat. But the problem here is that the amount of solar energy and temperature is distributed beyond a wider area. And this is where solar starts to suffer here. To get the best energy from solar, you need to angle the panels perpendicular to the sun, which requires energy. Which, even if it does, like in a single axis system, it does still produce electricity, like net positive. Like, for example, think about this. Like, if your argument is like, oh well, it takes energy to angle the solar panels, so they are bad. But here's the thing, right? When you work at a nuclear power plant, think about all those lights that are going on in the facility. Better yet, how about all the pumps that need to push water to the core? Or when it comes to coal plants, the amount of energy it takes to power all the lights and to, you know, power the conveyor belts that transport the coal into the burner. And, you know, the pumps, and again, and the pumps that, you know, pump water into that boiler. Or, again, like with wind turbines, with the power it needs for a couple of lights. And, like the lights and the yaw system. Although, I've actually seen videos, and I have been inside a wind turbine. And when it's off, when a wind turbine's doing nothing, it consumes 12 kilowatts. And when I think it yaws and pitches the blades, it can consume up to 30 kilowatts. But 30 kilowatts can power about 30 American homes. Now, this sounds bad, and you realize that that wind turbine I was up generates 3,000 kilowatts of power. Specifically, it's rated for 3,450 kilowatts of power. It's a lot of power, if you think about it. But yeah. Honestly, I think solar should be focused on the south. The closer to the equator you get, the more viable solar becomes. There's a reason Canada does not use solar as a renewable as much. It's not because, oh, it's a scam. It's because it's not viable. The further you get away from the equator, the less viable solar will become. That's just physics. That's solar physics right there. In fact, here's the thing, right? In January, the Earth is actually getting 7% more energy from the sun than any other month. In fact, we're closest to the sun in January. The reason we're not getting... Then why is it not hot? It's because, now, don't cancel me when I say this, the Earth is round. Okay? I know it sounds shocking. The Earth is round. Got it? Got it. So why is that? Why do we get cold when the sun is the closest to the Earth? If you take this is the Earth. Equator right here, sun. Watch this, right? That's your... You could barely even see it. My goodness. You see it? That's your sun. This is your Earth, and there's the sun up here. When the sun produces light, look at that. Up here, it's got to go further, but here, it doesn't have to go as far. Also, the further up north it is, the more area that same amount of sunlight has to cover. But when you get more energy the more perpendicular to the Earth the sun is. For example, in the equinox, which translates, I don't know what language it translates from, but it essentially means equal nights. In the equinox, there is 12 hours of direct sunlight on the equator. Currently, we are about I think about 18 days from the next equinox. So in less than 3 weeks right now, we are going to experience an equinox, which means that the sun will be perfectly perpendicular to the equator. Fun fact, I can tell you a little experiment you can put out in your yard. Take a post. If you want to really do this, if you have a garage, like a patio, and the sun projects a shadow, and you have a corner of the garage, mark that corner every single day at noon, or at the same amount of time. And it's going to form what's called the solar analemma. Now the solar analemma, it looks like a loop. So there's a little loop, and it goes big at the bottom. The top of the loop represents the summer solstice, and the bottom, the winter solstice. Furthermore, the where the loop crosses represents the equinoxes. So, of course, like right now, I remember, like, in Illinois where I live, I remember it would get dark by about 5. Now it is getting dark. Oh my god, that's bad. Right now, it is fully dark by 6. I'm gonna put some signs down over here. Let's just search it up. Yes, solar power generally has lower capacity factor. Solar operates 15 to 25%, whereas wind farms operate at 30 to 50%. So honestly, I don't want to be biased for wind because I like wind a lot better than solar. For a solar farm, it is at full power 15 to 25% of the time. But with wind, that's 30 to 50. The low point of wind is actually far better than solar at its highest. Another thing I think is a fair criticism with solar is that it takes up area, whereas when you put a wind turbine down, yes, it's going to take up area. But you can at least farm underneath it. And a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, all the crops, like in Illinois, people like complain about, oh my gosh, they're destroying so much farmland. Do you realize that like 30% of the corn grown in Illinois is turned into ethanol, which apparently, according to my dad's really good at engines. Like, he does really good at cars. He knows a shit ton about cars. He's literally built custom hot rods and shit. So he knows a thing or two about cars. He's told me that ethanol, what it does, is it just slowly degrades your engine. And if it doesn't, apparently he told me that they basically cut into ethanol without changing the price of gas. Take with that what you will. Because we don't know in Illinois, corn is subsidized and it's turned into ethanol biofuel. Which I think I've heard that ethanol biofuel is actually an energy loss process, which means we lose energy making it. However, I have heard ethanol is really good for drag racing. But yeah, again, it says solar photovoltaic, 17 to 28% capacity factor. Wind is 32 to 47. That's pretty good for wind. Because here's the thing, right? Let's think about this. Now, here's the pro about solar is that we know the sun's gonna come up, and we know the sun's gonna go down. Everybody knows this. But the con is that at the amount of sunlight per year is heavily inconsistent. In fact, from the winter, like in Illinois, roughly in Illinois, from the winter solstice to the summer solstice, we get 1 to 3 extra minutes of sunlight every day. And from the summer solstice to the winter solstice, we lose 1 to 3 minutes of sun a day. That's direct sun, by the way. You need sun to be directly visible to the panel in order to generate power. But more often than not, I have seen wind turbines going at night. You can tell this by if you look at the lights, they're either... Yeah, they come on at the same time. They either blink intermittently, or if you're behind a turbine, you can see the blades reflect the red light of the aviation lights onto them. Most of the times I've seen turbines, they're essentially running. I'd say more than about 80% of the time they run. So yeah, apparently wind generates more. Wind is at full power more time than solar is. Like the minimum of wind is better than the maximum of solar, apparently. I guess, again, it depends. You can't just put a wind turbine anywhere and it succeeds. You have to do siting. You have to do Met Tower research. You have to do, studies. Like, for example, to build a wind farm, you have to wait like a year. It is very lucrative. First of all, you have to get the town approval, which it's very hard to do. Then, if they approve, you have to build a Met Tower, and usually let it go for about 1 to 2 years. And get the data. And if the data comes in, yeah, then it goes further. Then you have to go to permitting. I mean, this exists with any facility. Like, if you want to build, like, like a factory, you probably have to do a bunch of, like, permitting and shit. Because you can't just put a factory in the middle of nowhere. You have to do zoning and stuff like that. Another thing I've heard about people say, like, oh my gosh, why aren't we getting any of the power from wind? Like, and I always have to say, hey, so Rivian built a car factory in Bloomington. Why aren't we all getting free cars? Hey, Kincaid operates a coal-powered plant down south. Why aren't we getting any of their power? Hey, there's a nuclear plant next to us. Why aren't we getting cheaper power? Because here's how the power grid works. Imagine power plants. Let's bring back our marbles example. Let's say the marbles are energy, right? So each power plant puts marbles into a table, right? They put a bunch of marbles represented by energy onto a table. And then you, the people that watch this, are watching the stream right now, you're the consumer. Just like you and just like me. Right? We're all consumers of energy. We're in the grid. Now, we take those marbles and consume them. That's how the power grid works. Power plants put power onto the grid, and then those that are connected to the grid, including power plants themselves, take from it. That is literally exactly how it works. Like, for example, like, I can't tell you almost the exact breakdown. Like, my house has probably gotten power from, you know, nuclear, wind, coal, all that. It's gotten power from all that because, for example, the grid is not like, okay, one power line goes here. It's actually interconnected. It's a web, a network. If you follow the electrical power grid, you could probably end up from Illinois all the way to the western part of America. You could probably go to the west coast from the east coast, and you could find a line. Although, the United States is divided into like 3 power grids. Or like 4. There's one in Texas. There's like the western... I forgot all of them, but I do know Texas has almost completely got their own grid, which is stupid because Texas is not... Texas can follow less federal regulations on their power grid, which sucks because they tried to... they had a blizzard and it took out a lot of their power grid. And it killed a bunch of people. T-bird from talking. Talk so long that my throat hurts a little. Sure sounds like I'm ripping ass. Viewer. Most amount of casings. We got the most amount of casings and the most amount of whatever. Oh yeah, right. I have a little backup. So I just remembered, like, if it can't there goes a couple ingots. Like, if it can't sink the ingots, then it's gonna try to send them over there. Oh, I'm like, what the hell? Why is it not doing anything? I need to set the recipe, my dumbass. Doink. Doink. That'll make it work better now, won't it? You're right, yeah, it's gonna overflow over here, so it definitely should take all these. There we go. Oh, it'll supply enough ingots for both plants. Okay, so if it's gonna provide way too many copper ingots. Yeah, look, it's already starting to overflow. Again, I'm stacked. I'm just having all these get hoarded right here. That way I can just get as many of these things as I can, as many of the, yeah, I'm trying to get as many of these sheets as possible while I build my roads. That way I can start upgrading to the Mark V system of, what do you want to call it, of conveyor belts. Because, of course, with the Mark IVs, I get 480 items a minute. With the Mark Vs, I get 720, I believe. $780. I get 300 extra resources per minute. And it doesn't seem like that much, but that's a lot. I've got easily almost 30,000. Apparently, again, so I'm looking at like their piece of tech. This dude is going to be very, 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 very good to have. Damn, that's a good thing. Look at that. The radiation radius is like from like right there. Now it's so far away, so that proves that we should not be stacking uranium in like that. Ah. Obviously, see all that bauxite going down there. Well, let's say, oh man, I have to use refineries to refine bauxite. But honestly, when I plan on taking refineries and phasing out smelters. In fact, yeah, honestly, even though it's going to consume a lot more power, I see using the pure ingot recipes as being crucial. Nope, and here's the part of the route where the railroad goes over it yet again. Look at that, cells passing me. So we're gonna have a thundery night. Yippee! I love thundery nights. Holy fuck. Shit. Dude, something just exploded in my house. That was lightning. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. That was close. That was a mile. That was a mile. I saw that. I saw that on my screen. Chat. Holy shit. I'll be right back. Oh my god. Shit. Shit. You know what I'm talking about. Sorry, chat. I have to listen to that video. Hold on. Hold on. I clipped it. That did not sound like it, but that was... Holy shit, bruh. Chat, this is what it sounded like outside. Ready? This is what it sounded like. That's 4.5 seconds away. Or 4,500 miles away. Holy shit. I don't think I caught it. Obviously I caught the flash in the camera, but I can't find the lightning strike. I'm sorry. But listen to this. That's nuts, dude. Damn. I know where that hit. That had to have hit really close to my neighbors. I ought to go check and see if they're fine. Shit. That was literally, I know where that is. I've literally met the people whose property that struck. Kind of. Yeah. I think that just struck someone's house. That lightning, guys, you just heard, I think it just hit someone's house. Because I used to ride the bus, and the person where that lightning strike lands almost directly where I used to ride the bus. Where someone used to live, where they used to ride the bus with me when I used to go to school. You guys, yeah, you could hear that. Oh shit. There goes another one. Shit, man, my house is next. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw that flash on my screen. On my TV. Ugh. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think I'd consider Route 20 done. Route 20 is complete. It is now the first west-east oriented route that I've built so far. Now here's the thing I'm gonna acknowledge this right now. Oh hey, look, there's 5 viewers. When I combine the roads elsewhere, they're not gonna mesh up perfectly, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to work with that. But I think I can. I think I can work with it. So here we go. This is Route 20. Now it's done. There's my beautiful bridge we built this morning. And that's where it ends. I'm gonna go exploring for a little bit. Yoink! I wanna kinda go see what's in the dunes. Oh my god. These little bastards. That dude's a problem. I hate this swamp. And it's interesting because the dunes are right here. Well, you see the far southern points of the dunes. Oh, you can see the bridge from here. I think that's where the other side of this quote-unquote causeway will go. It doesn't have to be always... It doesn't really necessarily have to be north-south oriented. But I'd really like it to be south-north, north and south oriented. Oh, this is a perfect landing. Not building it now, I'm just building a giant marker, that way I know where I need to hit. I can see those beams, like look at that. That's so cool. I can see my bridge that I've built all the way from here. Can I read any? I can't see it. Damn. And I just find it so cool. You can see that bridge all the way from here. That's another reason I really wanted to build that bridge. This looks so majestic. One day we're going to build a causeway bridge. And this is actually way taller than I thought it'd be. It's going to go from here all the way over there. A crash pod. Oh, fun. Oh, I can shoot out those rocks. Okay. So this route would go north. It'd go further north from here. Man, yeah, I could run it a straight shot. So I plan on running it over here. And then it would go off from here. And down over north across this canyon, which I could build a little smaller bridge network over here. I also want to build another big, cool bridge over there. Now, oh, look at that. I'm not hearing any voices from that one thing that keeps talking back between me, Ada and itself, or whatever. Now, I might one day build a huge, giant mega facility out here. Only problem is, I've detected a ton of pure iron veins out here, like, just so many pure iron veins. Is it true? There's already one. Remember, apparently if we overclock our units, our Mark III miners, apparently, if we ever get them, that means that we get 1,200 a minute. That's the most you can get of any. Which is like 20 iron a second, I think. Here's another iron. I've heard there are a lot of pures, but there's definitely a lot of impures mixed in here. iron and pure. We got 2 impure so far. I've also seen a lot of copper out here. Yeah, Route 85 will probably go along this river. Yeah, I did plan for it to go along this river. It's gonna go along that river. I just heard this is the place where Let's Game It Out built his giant ass belt hill thing. So far I'm seeing a lot of normals, not pure irons. There's another pure iron though. I've just seen there's a lot. I've heard there is a lot of nodes out here. Another iron node. This, of course, would be a great spot for a mega factory. Normal, normal, impure, pure, pure, normal, normal. Actually, even though there's only 2 pures and all the rest are normals and pures, it's actually a pretty good spot for coal up here. Did they reduce the amount of iron you can find up here? Oh, there's a moisture sphere right here. Let's go south and see what we get. Not as much iron as I thought. Maybe the map I'm looking at is outdated. Where are my power plants? I didn't think I had built any power plant shortcuts. I only got one of these bad boys left. Huh. Wonder if the crash... There it is! Let's say, I feel like... I don't feel like I've ever been here. Huh. You can take liquid biofuel. Interesting. Oh, well, never mind. I'm gonna retract my statement. That right there is insane. Look how many individual... Holy shit! Two of these, 14 spheres, 7 sloops, and 84 slugs. There we go. Oh my gosh. There's a pure. There is a pure limestone. Another pure limestone. Pure, 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 impure, normal, pure. That's copper. Pure, impure, impure. Pure. It's like the lightning activity that I can detect is starting to increase. There's also this facility, not facility. I don't know why I called this hill a facility, but I think the reason I said the word facility is that I said that I could put pumps up here and have the water go downhill, negating the ability for water, the use for water towers. I see some uranium ore. All right, I have one left. Maybe that uranium ore is just kind of chilling there. Maybe it's like supposed to block your path. It probably is. Noblest. Sloop. A beautiful waterfall. I've explored a lot of this map. I remember finding that one sloop in that little specific spot in the mountain, like a little puddle of water over here. Oh, it's like a fountain. Dude, all those for like... Oh, there's a purple one there. Let's see, there's like no purple there. All that effort is so stupid. I remember coming across one of these, and I came across a drop pod over here, and it was radioactive. Ooh, sulfur. I guess it's pure. Yes, it is. Because I just feel like all the sulfur nodes at this height are just pures. I might try to get a road up here. As crazy as that sounds. I think that over there is a pure SAM node. Oh man, I was thinking about building a crazy bridge right here, but I could also build a crazy bridge over here if I could make it. Oh, that would be so sick. This is very high up. I think this is pure. Normal. Turbo motors. I can't make those yet. Those are electromagnetic control rods. If this place drops turbo motors, I wonder what else. I wonder if it will drop rods. I can make these. These casings are also pretty nice, but I also make those. Oh shit. Well, I was about to say, what is it that it takes? It takes the control rods, like I just said. Also think about weaving another route, like Route 90 around this edge of this thing. Oh, I see rocks being flung at me, lol. Yeah, right here, there's a summer sloop right here, but I already got it. Holy shit. Oh my god, that was a good chunk. I can't even deny that. Looks like I already got the drop pod. There's crash debris here, but I don't see the drop pod, so I must have gotten it. I remember going up here when I was going looking for drop pods. Ooh, nice. Just kind of chilling out, taking a mild break. Could get a lot of water out of here. Ooh, that's uranium. It's probably a normal impure. Yeah, apparently I researched. There are no pure uranium nodes in the game, which really sucks, in my opinion.
Live, laugh, consume.
Huh? What the hell? Now that's a little bit weird now, don't you think? Those look like pipes. Must have already gotten this one. I think I remember going and getting one over here. That tree over there. I want to go find. I want to go see what's on top. Pretty sure I already got this one. I like the soundtrack that's playing right now. I think there's something special up here. There's 2 slugs. 3. There's just 4. What the hell? They must really like this giant ass tree, huh? Imagine if you could cut down these big trees, although I don't think I'd want it because they look cool. Kinda weird how that one's dead.
This is a try to Windows and weaving.
I love juking those stupid ass hogs. Might as well clear this uranium out of here. Hey, message.
Damaged hard drive recovered. Return it to the MAM where it will receive the best recovery and rehabilitation care available.
Looks like the more radiation I suffer, the faster that this, that my filters go down. I have 12 left. very least, getting rid of these uranium chunks is gonna vast. Yep, I can't discover anymore. Not right now. Could be a couple more I don't know about. But yeah, it actually does seem like I did pretty good here. Oh shit. Watching tornado videos. Whoa. 1,200 meters. Yeah, the very minimum, it's probably gonna be like 1,100 meter Causeway Bridge. 627 meters. Divided by 8. That's 78 foundations. I'm gonna take a break, guys. I think I did a lot today. Even if I don't come back today, which I'm planning on doing it, I have gotten a lot of work done. Peace out.